Hello, hello. Oh boy. Every time. When I'm in that stream, seeing it's all echoey. Why is it still echoey? Stop it. Stop being echo. I don't really fix that. Oh, it's because the one button stays on. There's one version of the mic where it's all echoes, and it drives me crazy. But we are back. Hello, hello. Wow, I'm very early. You are precisely on time. Do not worry. Oh, I didn't send my usual first to device cereal because we were just about to go. Am I quiet? You see, somebody else said that the 3DO was very sensitive, and it sounded like they were saying that I was too loud. And so I put my audio low. I do not know what I'm doing. The way that I get a monitor in is not very consistent. So okay. Alright, is this better? Can you hear me better? Thank you. You get first device cereal. I will see that. And thank you for stretch. Oh, I didn't quite do that. I noticed it and I didn't do it. Let's stretch. Okay. And then toast, thank you for hydrate. You will hydrate. Well, welcome in. I'm all winkly. Why does she do that? Why does the model get all winkly? I'm saying winky with an L mixed in, not wrinkly. Why are you doing this? I think it's worst when I look straight at the camera. When I look to the sides, I don't think it's as bad. But when I look him straight, immediately blinky. Want tappy taps on anything? Let's pick something we don't normally have to tappy tap on. I do not know what to pick. Let's do... There's a sensory slug here, and so we are using the sensory slug for the tappy taps is what I'm thinking. Thinking one, thinking two, head empty, no thoughts. Sounds good. Sounds good. Alright. Well, hi everybody. I'm Raven. Normally I'd welcome you to Emerald Lake, but we're not in Emerald Lake. We are at Violet Spellcraft's Apothecary. We are Apothecary sitting, and... Yep, that it did toast. That's a nice roll, dang. But yeah, your Riz is... Oof, oof. Is the fire extra loud right now for some reason? Oh, it's because it was loud before. Let's turn you down, fire. Not all the way off, though. There you go. Maybe that's a little low. I had the fire up for the starting screen because the only other music was Christmas music. And that's not right, but okay, we have sorted out. Okay. Let's prep. Let's do some tappies. please? I mean, when I use more knives than other things, it's when I'm making sandwiches, because I'm using the knives to spread stuff. Did you make PB&J? Did you make a sandwich with mayo or mustard? That would make sense. I'm gonna have to start charging the ghost rent. Or that. Yeah, that could be it too. Hmm. It doesn't help that while I was thinking there, I looked more directly at camera and therefore became more squinty and blinky. Why does he do that? It's like when I look away from camera, I'm Raven. I'm doing Raven things. I'm doing mostly what I should do. There's sometimes a wink, but not as much. And then I'm just here and I'm all squinty. And my eyes close at random. I'm not doing anything. I'm looking straight ahead. Why is he doing this? I hate mayo and mustard. Oh. Then yeah, it sounds like that's definitely the ghost problem. Please look into that. Well then, what we were going to get into is that now we're gonna do some folk tales. We had spooky. Wait, no, I updated my thing. Oh, you little shit. I updated all this info. I updated this. Okay, we're gonna fix this. I should not have said the wrong stuff. Why is it not changing that? Oh, well, now it says the right thing. Okay, well, anyway, we are doing folktales. We have been going alphabetically, and in that list, we are at Canadian. Now, I've already done their Native American and other books that they had. This one is supposed to be more general, but then as I click into it, it says that it's 26 Native American folktales gathered from Canada. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe I didn't get, maybe this should have gone in there. And then I see quite a few, like, indigenous possible titles. Yeah, okay. And then what the heck is this? Where it says St. Nicholas. That is not an indigenous story. Not to Canada. So, St. Nicholas and the Children is the 3rd/4th story. If you count the preface, it's a 0, and then the 1, 2, 3 is St. Nicholas and the Children. And so, it's definitely not properly indigenous stories. It's like mostly. And so we know that it's going to be a little bit mixed up, this book. But it is the next in the alphabetical line. It's called Canadian Fairy Tales by Cyrus Macmillan. It was published in 1922. Oh, we turned the century. It's not the 18th. And it was published... Oh my gosh, it's a bunch of... Okay, it's S.B. Gundy, Toronto, John Lane, The Bodley Head Limited, London. So I think it's a joint publishing in Toronto and London. Oh, makes sense for 1920. Wouldn't be ridiculous. But yes, we have an introduction, and then we have a preface, and the start, and then we have the gathering of all the folktales. I get the feeling it'll be a bit of a mix of what we'll get. I'm surprised that in all of this there wasn't an American one that had, like, I've kind of joked about, like, Johnny Appleseed, what's his name, the giant dude, I don't know, forget. I remember them in Simpsons stories where they did a, you know, every once in a while they have a collection of little stories that they summarize in their Simpsons fashion. I remember Johnny Appleseed being Bart in a dumb hat, I think. Or maybe I'm mixing that up with Tom Sawyer. I don't know. And then there was one, and they had the giant blue uh, buffalo, something. And that was some other guy's pet. These wild stories, those ones that are not really native stories, but they're folk tales from early in the country's history. That's what I kind of expected with some of these, and I guess that's what we'll get out of St. Nicholas. But this is trying to say that it's native stories. So I'm just saying, take it with a pinch of salt, and of course, it's saying as if they're all one big old thing, like it's a one giant country of native stories. It's like, no, they each had their own. Things are different. It's just that some of it overlaps, and pinning it down to one specific depends on which version, and that's not always given in detail. So they just gathered a bunch from around. We'll see if they actually give specific info for which tribes had which stories, but we'll see. Okay, we have the introduction to do. That's not supposed to be that big, but I'll do this. It will be smaller. Alright, there we go. I still don't know why that's happening. OBS is so odd. I mean, I don't know why it's happening, but at least I know it's happening and how to fix it for right now. It's weird. Okay. Introduction. Professor Macmillan has placed all lovers of fairy tales under a deep debt of obligation to him. The fairy tale makes a universal appeal both to old and young. To the young because it is the natural world in which their fancy delights to range, and to the old because they are conscious again of the spirit of youth as they read such tales to their children and grandchildren over and over again, and rejoice in the illusion that after all there is not a great difference of age which separates the generations. The fairy tale makes this universal appeal because it deals with the elemental in our natures that is the same in every age and in every race. In the Canadian tales which Professor Macmillan has so admirably gathered from Indian sources, we find the same types of character and scenes of adventure that we do in the tales of the German forests of Scandinavia, England, or France. They shouldn't be exactly the same, my dude. I think you have scrubbed it if they are. There is in us all an instinctive admiration for the adventurous spirit of the fairy tale which challenges the might that is cruel and devastating, and for the good offices of the fairies which help to vindicate the cause of the noble in its conflict with the ignoble right with wrong. Oh no, what is Frigid doing? Hi, Frigid. The origin of the fairy tale is to be traced always to the early stages of civilization, and is very gratifying to be assured from time to time that man possesses certain natural impulses which spring from an inherent sense of honor and the desire to redress the wrongs of the world. Yeah, everybody definitely stand clear. 'Cause he's icky. He is like non-riz. That is literally the lowest you could get. Ooh. But hello again. I'm excited to experience Folktales. Yay! Welcome back. Yes, we have just begun. I am just a little bit cautious with this. When we get to our folktales, they're all from this one website that has a bunch of tales from a bunch of places. I have not read through all of them, and so that is good, but it is from old sources that all take kind of old ways and shitty ways, and so it's always fun, most notably, to laugh at some of the odd things, laugh at how some of the wording, means different things now, and most importantly, get a little bit to a lot of bit upset at some of what the story is trying to say. Okay. Um, and I just showed. Oh, are you gonna try and roll bed? Okay, let's see if you roll better. A 13. Hey, better than than saying stand back and getting the worst you can get. That is better. Oh, virgin. Okay, the the warning about the folktales is that this is, we're gonna make fun on this a little bit, okay? And yeah, they're trying to say fairy tales are so beautiful and amazing, and it's so great to see that we all are connected. Fairy tales trace back to the early stages of civilization, and I don't fully love that phrase is in there because it reads just a little bit like fairy tales happen there, but it's like, no, they did technically say it's to be traced to the early stages. That does not mean that they have to come from then, or that they all start. Like, you can make a folktale right now. We can make one right now. let's all make a folktale right now. And then ages from now they'll do more. There's just I'm very nervous that they're about to be very racist. So this is what I say. But okay, it's fair that yes, it's beautiful to see that everywhere we have certain impulses for a sense of honor and desire to redress the wrongs of the world. Yeah, yeah, we all want the same thing there. That's good to see. Professor Macmillan has been successful in presenting the Indian folklore in a most engaging manner. The stories have all the delightful charm and mystery of the Canadian forests. They have penetrated into the heart of nature, but also into the heart of man. All of this written by John Grier Hibben. I get the feeling we're going to keep calling things like that, but, we'll see how bad it is. Preface, just under that. The tales in this collection, like those in Canadian Wonder Tales. What? Wonder Tales? Were gathered in various parts of Canada by river and lake and ocean, where sailors and fishermen still watch the stars. Everyone does. What? In forest clearings where lumbermen yet retain some remnant of the old vanished voyageur life, and where Indians still barter for their furs. This was 1920. Yes, that was a thing. They shouldn't have needed to, but that was a thing. Hello, Wally. In remote country places where women spin while they speak with reverence of their fathers' days, the skeleton of each story has been left for the most part unchanged, although the language naturally differs somewhat from that of the storytellers from whose lips the writer heard them. So there definitely are changing things up. Hydrate, I'm hydrated. All right. I am hydrated. I am here. Thank you, Wally. We continue. Where I was saying... It is too often forgotten that long before the time of Arthur and his Round Table, these tales were known and treasured by the early inhabitants of our land. What do you think? However much they have changed in oral passing from generation to generation, the germ of the story goes back to very early days, beyond the dawn of Canadian history. Okay, so you're saying that way before Arthur and his Round Table stories, the stories in Canada, these oral histories were much older. I think that's what you're trying to say, and I appreciate that. It starts way before the dawn of Canadian history, because it wasn't a singular colonized country. Yeah. Canada is rich in this ancient lore. The effort to save it from oblivion needs no apology. I'm not really sure what you mean, but there's probably an apology that should probably be in there, and quite a few. Maybe. Maybe the fact that it needs to be saved, that definitely earns an apology. I don't think so, Bridget. I don't think so. You're twins anyway. How did you do that? Long how? I know you didn't do that, but how? Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. Okay. Fairy literature has an important place in the development of the child mind, and there is no better fairy lore than that of our own country. Through the eyes of the Indian storyteller and the Indian dreamer inheriting his tales from a romantic past, we can still look through magic casements opening on the foam of perilous seas in fairylands forlorn. Yeah, right there. Saying that it has to be through their eyes. You can do that with your own stories, motherfucker. I'm not putting up with this. We need to get a 0. I don't think 0 is an option. And you can only do... We have a very intense cooldown because... Look at these two. They would just do that all stream. I would not be able to look at chat. Ever. I wouldn't get anything done. I still don't get anything done. But I'm saying that this was a little shitty that they put right there. Through anybody that's listening and reading, telling these stories, we can have that fun. Screw up, but we can still feel something of the atmosphere of that mysterious past in which our ancestors dwelt and labored. The author's sincerest hope in publishing this volume is that to the children of today, the traditions of our romantic Canadian past will not be lost in our practical Canadian present. Well, it wasn't all romantic. And then it says, McGill University, May 1921. That's when they wrote it. Hi, Oni. That's a cute kid. Alright. That was our preface. What have I done? We begin with how Glooskap made the birds. Wow, that's never gonna be small enough. Okay. Okay, no, we can do this. We can totally do this. Oh my goodness. This is why I usually put it the other way around. Vi does not have something prepared for when you read something with a long title at all. That's how we'll have to do that. I think that will fit. It will cover my bread, but that is fine. I'm already a mess, winking around and all. I have to hold my eyes open really, really far for it to not freak out. So far so good, but my eyeballs are gonna dry out like this, so I'm not gonna do that. And she gonna be winky. Okay. It's like my model's been drunk this whole time. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. How Glooskap made the birds is our next story. We'll see how this guy... Glooskap. The tracker trying to keep up with you scanning the book? No, it's not even... It's online. There's no book. I'm just looking around the screens. It's already losing it. Whoa. Thought I heard something. Okay. Arr. Am I just gonna be a pirate? Why? Why am I so winky? I say as I wink, even with my eyeballs wide open. This is a problem. I'm not dealing with it right now. Enjoy seemingly drunk model. I'm gonna keep moving. Okay. Once upon a time, long before the white men came to Canada, there lived a wicked giant who caused great trouble and sorrow wherever he went. So yes, we have zero specifics on where the hell this is from. Just Canada? And in 1921, we did not have all of what is Canada today. So I don't even know what exactly the bounds are. Jeez, I need proper Canadians to tell me. Okay, once upon a time, yes. Men called him Wolfwind. Where he was born, no man knows, but his home was in the Cave of the Winds, far in the North Country in the Night Land. Jesus Christ. You know that is not what the indigenous folks were calling it. I don't think they called it that. Even for the children, I do not think they called it Night Land. What the fuck? I mean, maybe. In theory, this could be somewhere I do not know, and that is absolutely a place that they called it that. But I don't think that that's how this went. I don't think that's how that went. In the Night Land. And there, men knew he was hiding on calm days when the sun was hot and the sea was still, and on quiet nights when not a leaf or a flower or a blade of grass was stirring. But whenever he appeared, the great trees cracked in fear, and the little trees trembled, and the flowers bent their heads close to the earth, trying to hide from his presence. Often he came upon them without warning and with little sign of his coming. And then the corn fell flat, never to rise again. So just the biggest, most intense wind, I guess. Fell flat, never to rise again. And tall trees crashed in the forest, and the flowers dropped dead because of their terror. And often the great waters grew white and moaned or screamed loudly or dashed themselves against the rocks, trying to escape from Wolfwind. And in the darkness of the night, when Wolfwind howled, there was great fear upon all the earth. Oh, thank you for the full item. This is just keyboard smash. I don't know how to say that. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sister. I'm sorry you lost your kitty. Big hugs. Well, we have a tradition that I'm supposed to read your name and do a dance emote, but how about we just send some hugs for you? How about that? Let's drop some hug emotes instead. And however you would like for me to pronounce your name, I will say it. I don't know how to pronounce keyboard smash. I do not speak keyboard smash. There's a bunch of hugs. If anybody here has the subs, we have the little frog hug. But if you don't have them, just maybe some hearts or something. That's nice. Riley, I'm sorry you lost your sister lost your kitty. There's your hugs. Welcome in. Get cozy. Yeah, the little love frog's good. That one's good. That one's free to everybody in the chat. We're just reading some folktales, so come get cozy. What was I doing? Oh, yes. There was fear everywhere because of the wind. Ooh. It happened once in those old times that Wolfwind was in a great rage, and he went forth to kill and devour all who dared to come in his path. It chanced in that time that many Indian families were living near the sea. The men and women were fishing far off the coast. They were catching fish to make food for the winter. They went very far away in small canoes, for the sea had long been still, and they thought there was no danger. The little children were alone on the shore. Suddenly, as the sun went down without a sign of his coming, out of the north came Wolfwind, in his great rage, looking for prey and roaring loudly as he came. "I am Wolfwind the giant," he howled. "Cross not my path, for I will kill all the people I meet and eat them all up." His anger only grew as he stalked along, and he splashed and tossed the waters aside in his fury as he came down upon the fishermen and fisherwomen far out to sea. The fishers had no time to get out of his reach or to paddle to the shore, so quick was Wolf Wind's coming. And the giant caught them in his path and broke up their boats and killed them all. All night long he raged over the ocean, looking for more fishers. In the morning, Wolf Wind's anger was not yet spent. Far away in front of him, he saw the little children of the fishers playing on the shore. He knew they were alone, for he had killed their fathers and mothers. He resolved to catch them and kill them too, and after them he went, still in a great rage. He went quickly towards the land, roaring as he went, and dashing the waters against the rocks in his madness. As he came near the beach, he howled in his anger, "I will catch you and kill you all and eat you and bleach your bones upon the sand." You know, evil giant stuff. Yeah. But the children heard him, and they ran away as fast as they could, and they hid in a cave among the great rocks and placed a big stone at the mouth of the cave, and Wolf Wind could not get in. He howled loudly at the door all day and all night long, but the stone was strong, and he could not break it down. Then he went on his way, still very angry and still roaring, and he howled, "I will come back and catch you yet. You cannot escape from me." The children were very frightened, and they stayed long in the cave after Wolf Wind had gone. For far away they could still hear him howling and crashing in the forest. Then they came out. They knew that Wolf Wind had killed their fathers and mothers on the sea. They ran away into the forest, for they thought that there they would be safe. They went to the Willow Land, where they found a pleasant place with grass and flowers and streams. And between them and the north country where Wolf Wind lived, there were a great many trees with thick leaves, which they knew would protect them from the giant. But one day Wolf Wind, true to his promise, came again in a rage to find them. He came into the land, killing all he met in his path, but he could not catch the children, for the trees with their thick leaves kept him away. They heard him howling in the forest far distant. For many days in the late summer he tried to find them, but their home was close to the trees, and the great branches spread over them, and the thick leaves saved them, and only the sun from the south, coming from the summer flower country, could look in upon them. I really don't know if any of these lands, they just sound so like infantilized. Like all the names don't feel quite accurate. Like they feel like kitty version of whatever you would call it, maybe. Like the Summer Flower Land, the Night Land, the Willow Land. Like there's maybe some truth in it, but it feels like that's not what they really call it, is it? That's what somebody thinks they call it. Every time I say it, I'm like, maybe this is real, but like I don't think so. You would think a giant would just break the branches. You would think. But apparently, they're pretty strong. I mean, a good, proper, old-growth tree is really freaking hard to top over, right? So, maybe that's what. We'll see what happened. Oh. Only from the south, coming from the summer flower country, could look in upon them. So, you have to come in from the south, and Wolf Wind is coming mostly from the north, which is telling me it's cold wind. Like this is all clearly like a metaphor for big storm wind, and all a big story for how to stay safe, kind of stuff, right? Also, do these kids move a rock? A giant couldn't. I think because he's a wind guy, he might not have hands. You know what I mean? I don't know. Thank you for the hydrate. Hi, Arctic. Welcome in. It's just a theory I have. I don't know. But okay. Try as he could with all his might, old Wolf Wind could not harm them, although he knew that they were there. No, you're okay. It's all good. It's a different schedule. It's all right. This is why I don't keep attendance. You never need to apologize. I'm just glad you're here now. That's all that matters. He knew that they were there, and they were always safe while they lived in the Willow Land. Wolf Wind was more angry than ever because of his failure, for he liked to feed on his little children, and rage knew no bounds. He swore that he would have vengeance on the trees, so he came back again, and he brought with him to aid him another giant from the North Country who had with him a strange and powerful charm, the charm of the frost. Tornadoes are just wind and can throw houses. Yeah. But they're not using hands. Besides, with the houses, it's about density, not size, right? With that. So, a rock. There's not as many rocks, you know, big rocks in a tornado. But houses stuffs, yeah. I think this could literally be a story to prevent tornadoes and stuff. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just big wind storms, not really tornadoes, because they were on the water as well. And that was like the biggest problem. It came off the water. I'm gonna theorize that this is from... I want to say, because they said stuff, I want to guess that it's West Coast. But I don't know. And that would make sense for big wind storms and stuff popping in. But I don't know. I don't know for sure. This is the problem. Okay, coming in with the frost giant with him. Oh boy, charm of the frost. And the two giants tried to kill the trees that had saved the little children. But over many of the trees, they had no power. For when they came, the trees only laughed and merely swayed and creaked and said, "You cannot harm us. We are strong, for we came at first from the Night Land in the far North Country. And over us the charm of the frost has no power." These were the spruce and the fir, the hemlock and the pine, and the cedar. Oh, well, it's a story. It doesn't have to make sense. True. But as the preface and introduction was kind of saying, like, they come from specific teaching kind of things, and in this case, a lot of times, it's about how something came to be. Like, this is why this animal doesn't have a tail. This is why this animal's ears are different. This is why, you know? So that's a leading reason for these. Or it's a how to stay alive during X. Because it's like, yo, kids, you better learn it. And the European fairy tales is a lot of don't go in the woods. It's dangerous. You better stay here. And they'll make up whatever evil villains to get you to stay out of the forest. And then there's lots of whatever to, hey, listening to mom and dad is the most important thing. Or else a demon will eat you. Like, whoa. And so this is the epitome of the scary winds that happen. And the staying somewhere with the only opening facing the south is a good little lesson within the story to hold on to. And so I think that could be it. Oh my gosh, I just saw your Riz number. Arctic. Noise. Is there one about why bunnies have loppity loppities? No, but there was one about why the bunny had a short tail instead of a long tail. We did that one a little while ago. That was a good one. that was, oh, whose was that? I think that was the Brazilian Folktales. Yeah. I think that was Brazilian Folktales. How, I think it was the cat that chopped someone's tail off and took it. Is that what that was? I don't know who. Somebody chopped the rabbit's tail off, and the rabbit was like, "Oh, okay," for the most part. It was silly. Okay. We are from the north, so you have no power. That's one of the things that they said. But on the other trees, Wolfwind had vengeance as he had vowed. Okay, so the other trees went down, but spruce, fir, hemlock, pine, and cedar. So that's another thing. This would have been a good story for which trees are going to be sturdier in the wind or are going to survive colder temperatures. So if something happens, those ones are more likely to be sturdy. go in those woods instead of the woods that's a bunch of the other ones that are gonna fall over. Like that's so important. Okay. Okay, so the Wolfwind had vengeance as he vowed. One night, when the harvest moon was shining in the sky, he came without warning, and with the help of the giant bearing the charm of the frost, he killed all the leaves that had kept him from the children. Oh, okay, so that bit about not being able to get the branches, he couldn't see around the leaves. He knew roughly where they were, but he couldn't get around it. So this is the point of it's not who survives the wind, it's who survives their leaves in the cold. So fir, hemlock, pine, cedar, spruce, that's needles. That's needles. That's not leaves. So that's why that is. Haha! See, I told you. I told you it was some sort of story like that. These ones do this, these ones do that. He killed all the ones that had the leaves that had kept him from the children and threw them on the ground. One after one, the leaves came off from the beech and the birch and the oak and the maple and the alder and the willow. Some fell off quickly, some fluttered slowly down, and some took a long time in dying. But at last the trees stood bare and cold against the sky, and there was stillness and sadness in the forest. And Wolfwind laughed and played in silence through the leafless branches with the giant from Night Night Land. I feel upset every time I say that, but I will say it because it's not outright wrong. And he said, "Now I have overcome the leaves that kept me away, and now, when I please, I can kill the children." But the children only moved closer to the strong and sturdy trees that had come at first from the far north country, and over which the charm of the frost had no power. See, we're safe over here, so we go anyway. And Wolfwind could not reach them, and they were still forever safe from the giants. The children were very sad when they saw what Wolfwind had done to their friends and protectors, the trees. Summer had gone back to the Southland, following, as she always did, the rainbow road to her home in the wilderness of flowers. She went on a rainbow road! It was lonely now in the forest, and silent. There was not a whisper in the trees. There were no leaves, for it was autumn, and Wolfwind had killed them all. At last it came to that time of year when Glooskap, who ruled upon the earth and was very great in those days, gave his yearly gifts to the little children. Are you literally... is this... did they insert a freaking Santa? Or is this actually a thing? Because yearly and during the fall, or after the fall has come... See, this is what I mean by I don't think that very much is this direct. There are a lot of stories where because it's oral histories, and because someone might learn about one thing and then they get excited about that, especially because you're talking to kids. Like, imagine you're somebody who's got oral histories of your own, you've got your own stories, like maybe Santa Claus or something like that. We haven't seen me, just had a spider crawl from under my chair. Is it a big spider? A little spider? Do you tend to have bugs in your house? I say, if it's not in a really creepy spot, like your bedroom, or maybe bathroom, do your best to just let it be. Just have a house bud. You have a roommate now, Toast. That's the one who's using the knives. Because then they can eat the little bugs. It sucks. But you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. It's okay. I always feel like if it's big enough that it's like easy-ish to see, so it's not the teeny tiny ones, because that freaks me out. I don't know why. Then it's okay. But also, if it's gigantic and could eat me, that's a different issue. About a 50-cent coin in my room. Okay, yeah. Whew, that's big enough to notice. That's on the edge of too big. That's on the edge of too big. Like, that's just about good enough to put in a box and say is a pet. You've got about 3 living in your house. Ooh. Yeah, up to you. But I think it's good to get rid of bugs. But then you have to be worried about is poison ones or not, and that is also a big issue. shoot, I don't have to deal with many poison spiders. I don't know where you are. If you think that that is a possibility, smashed it under an old shoe. Oh, okay. Bye, spider buddy. You will have bugs, but that is fine. It is probably worth it. It is probably worth it. One of mine has 6 legs. Are you sure that is a spider? It could very well. Spiders are cute. Yeah. It just can be spooky when you don't know if it's gonna be a scary one, if it's gonna bite you, if there's gonna be a bunch. Spiders don't desire. Oh. See, I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, it had webbing. I don't know what to think. Can spray for bugs. Yeah, okay. I had a spider bite me on the kidney area, and I had itchy, burning abs for about 6 weeks. Some neurotoxic junk or something. They get smashed now. That is very fair. Yes, that is very fair. I have not had too much of the spider scary for a while. Spiders are natural bug repellent. It's true, but it's just the concern of something like night suggested of if it is going to hurt you. Yeah, good that it hurt other bugs, but if it hurt you, uh-oh. So, yeah, probably the safer choice. You gotta know where you're at. Okay, where the heck was I? Oh, right, my little ramble I was going to give. Okay, if you're trying to tell a kid your stories because you're trying to pass down tradition and important knowledge, and so you're trying to say, like, be good and you get presents. Here is the Santa story. But for whatever reasons, colonizing reasons, your kid is maybe more interested by the idea of this character from somewhere else that they heard of, where they get a bunch of presents anyway, or something, that seems cooler to a kid for some reason, or they give you insert trendy thing here, and the kid just cares about that right now, or your kid has a super interesting special interest and that's all they care about, and like your thing they're trying to tell them isn't about that special interest, but the other people's that are doing stuff that's about special interest. You might feel the need to get your kid interested in your story by sprinkling in what they think is cool, and so you might go ahead and involve the other people's story. Or maybe you heard your story one way and it sounded a lot like the other one, and so you're like, yeah, they're the same person. It's fine. It's the same person. And so you just kind of smush things together here and there. That might be how things happen. And then there's the even sadder version of the very, hi, Tsukiyomi, welcome in. I don't give a fuck if they're real bugs. Okay. And that's totally fine for you. Santa's greater than your own stories. Okay, I disagree. The old original, which is your own story, I like Krampus. It's a fun time. I like that in theory. It's important to have everybody's stories, okay? I read stories. You think I'm not gonna want to be like, this is cool stuff? There's a tornado near me, actually. Help! I'm so sorry. Okay, get in the basement or the tub. A tub in the basement would be great. Please do not put this above that. Please look after yourself. Please be careful. Punch it. No, don't do that. That's a definite no. And it's very interesting, Tsukiyomi. We're actually reading a story about a wind monster. A wind giant. A basement I have not. So to the tub. Do we have a tub? If you have no basement and no tub. Innermost room. Concur. Yes. Closet? Punching is now a reasonable... It is not. It is not a reasonable option. Maybe with my giant, but no, still not really. But I was off on a little tirade about the stories, because I am upset that it looks like it's possible that what has happened is that there was a character, Glooskap, has been mixed in a little bit with a sort of Christmassy vibe. And it's something, like I said, you might feel the need to kind of equate things so that your kids might like actually listen instead of just ignore it. Or maybe it was something a little bit more sad where you were told stuff but you've forgotten it, or you were only told so much and you were also told this other thing and you know that it gotta go from A to B, and so the next time you tell it to your kids, well, oral histories are supposed to get some, personal spice spiced in. But it looks like it might have been a big leap to mix something in. I've seen it a few times. It was actually a whole thing that was very cool to find out about, how the story of forbidden fruit has actually gone into quite a few different things, and whether that came from one or the other is very interesting. There was a Geha story that involved that, which is peoples that have a deer lady story, and so I am aware of them more than some of the other ones. And there's a forbidden fruit moment in that, but as it was told to me, they were very much like, yeah, it sounds a lot like, Garden of Eden. You can imagine that this is probably how this happened. Somebody was told that story, they incorporated it, we move on. It was, yeah, it's a mess. And I think that this might have happened with this Glooskap, because they're saying it's right after autumn, and just half a paragraph later he said, "What do you wish for, you children?" And so, yeah, magic master of gifts. It's a bit wild. So it gives a bit of a time. So much thunderbolts. Oh. Okay, please settle in. Get to the right spot. And do you have candles? Do you have water prepped? If you have to leave to get those things, maybe don't. But yeah. I always get scared at the big storms like that when you guys say something like that, because I don't want you guys to be hurt, and I don't want to you have been here instead of be doing the things that are as important for safety, okay? So I say the things, even though I'm sure you're reasonable and smart and can do it. I get worried. It's like the fish that keeps getting longer. Just one small change after a dozen times is a big change. Yeah, exactly. But sometimes, it's not a small change. Like this kind of thing, that's a big step, and that's the point, that you have lost history, or it's being pushed that we need to have this thing instead. And so it's when you take a big jump. When there's a bunch of little ones, it still feels natural, but when there's a big jump like this, that's when it maybe isn't. But maybe this wasn't that. Maybe this is, honest to God, just exactly how the story was. You might want to look at it and be like, Anyway, I don't want to get in the tub. It wet. Punching is still the best reasonable option. That is never the most reasonable option. Please, get a towel. Don't. No. Please look after yourself. I heard the kitties' bells. I think the kitties are worried for you too. Please, no. I'm sorry for the punch on work this time. I will have to be bad. What? Oh, I'm sorry, the punch won't work on this time. Yeah, it will have to be bad. Yes. You cannot punch the wind. Who is making the noises? I hear you. Some kitties being a mess. But the towel's still wet from my recent shower. Suck it down. If you think tornado is close, please get in tub. Instead of checking this, mayhaps check weather updates. This is much more important to have at the ready than my silly voice reading stories. If you are on your own, definitely do that instead of me. If you have other people, maybe have one of them listen to that. There were several stories from my childhood that have sort of merged as I forgot details because, yeah, and like when a generation is gone, or they got busy with something else, or they don't want to say it, things have happened to them, whatever, and it's only the kids who had not the best memory. That's another way that they get smushed together. I was gonna say Arctic. Dirty clothes? Like, even if they're not clean, like, that gets up the water if it's gonna be... Ew. Hey, do you want to be wet or do you want to be stinky? Pick one. Pick one. I implore you, so kill me, please. I'm assuming if it's not bad enough to have... That's not... the worries. Oh my gosh. I assume that you would have both sticky wet and clean clothes. Please monitor news about weather first. Not the dear lady reading stubs. We eating dragon today. Not even funny right now, Long. I am honestly nervous. I am honestly worried. We will not. Okay. Please be careful. Please be safe. Why no? Why no? It's not a silly. It's I get nervous when you guys do this because we're not gonna be able to check in on you. You could just disappear. And with storms and stuff, I don't mean to insult you, but if you're here instead of there, why? Why are you not doing this stuff for safety? But then once there's I done all I can do, I am just sitting. And yeah, I just arrived in Sea Dragon. Oh, there is a no, you will not just out of the blue. Tsukuyomi is apparently nearby to a bad storm. There is a tornado and lightning bolts. So yeah, we're not joking about eating that dragon. My house is about 80 years old and falling, and I'm in the middle of nowhere in Tornado Alley, and I just have my possible death. To be fair, possible death is anywhere and everywhere. It's not great. But you could think about that. Poor lady. I'm sorry about that, Toast. I hope that we can keep the streak going of you not getting hurt by that. Maybe we look into basements. Please. Safety if we can get, please. Thanks, Cage, for being very spooked, because I know that you're in the same boat as me as very spooked. I'm never gonna say it normally ever again. You said it like that first! You said tornado! I said tornady, not torlady. Damn it. Okay, but really, pop out of this, go check. If everything is all good to go, then you are allowed to be in here. I will literally struggle to read story at this point. All I heard is tour lady. Luckily, the closest they get is a couple miles. I'm glad that's not been too close. Basement is expensive. It's true. But which is more worth your money? I think living is good. I think that's a good. I would like you to value that. I would appreciate if people valued that. We'll talk to the nice door. No, you're not. No, you're not. Door lady is not nice. Tsukuyomi, I have a story for you. The Tor Lady is a wolf wind and is going to kill all the trees so that it can kill children. That's what this story is that we're reading right now. That's literally what it is. I don't know if he's a Tor Lady. But a windy storm of some sort, and when he didn't kill the children, he went back and got his chillier buddy to help out. But why? Because don't die. Period. There is no more silly jokey about that. I want you to be okay, and it's going to cause me some degree, not much, of course, of harm if we are not going to actually look after that. Please. Always cheaper to die. It's true. But that is not good. Please value the not die. Oh, if that's the case, I should go out and scold the door. No, you should not. You should not go scold anybody. It is no joke. I am spoop. I am not gonna feel good about it. And I'm gonna keep saying silly things because I get anxious like that. And it's not good, but I am trying. I was called a river that folds all the time. If you mean by fold, you mean make waves? Sure. If you mean flood, yeah, okay. I mean, you can yell at them, but do it from a safe place. I don't think it's gonna be helpful. I'm gonna squish this panda head that's full of milk. Oh, is the milk gone bad? Oh, no. Oh, that's what's up. Can't make fart noises. I need to move my hands, and I do that. Thank you, Cage. I had to distract myself, and I was just gonna do a squish stress ball, and I had bought this little panda for Vi, and she can't bring it on trip because it's not full of like a squishy stuff. It's full of milk or something. See, it's full of milk. So when I squish it and move the air around, it's just a fart machine. What have we done? That's exactly what I was asking, because I blew it up before I was gonna try and avoid the fart noises, but then I saw a clumpy looking thing, and I was like, oh jeez, and I quickly let go and it made a fart. I'm gonna call it later. I'm sorry, Cage. I'm sorry, Cage's significant other. Can you put them closer to the headphones for this, though, so they can hear the next part? That was too loud. I'm very sorry. That one was way too loud. Okay, no more panda. I've done enough. I need to sleep because I have stuff to do tomorrow, but I can't relax knowing there's a literal Thor lady inside. Is there any of the stuff that you can do tomorrow that you can do right now? Is there any of the stuff that you can do safely right now, I should say? Or maybe you can send messages to people that has to do. What is she doing? I'm sorry, Hades' mom. Sorry. He's a little panda head, and I squish and make. No, we're not doing it again. Maybe you can send messages and say, "Hey, the tornado. I could not sleep. You can make a plan." I hope you can make a plan. No, I have to get off my own arse. Aww. Okay. Well, let's hope you get some sleep as soon as this passes by and you're all good to go. Where's a kitty when I need one? Okay. I wish you luck. No! Be safe, please. You may scold from inside your home. Inside your tub. Nowhere else. You could drink some tea to relax if you like it. I have no idea where the tea is. I will be looking through all of the cupboards to find the tea. It will take me far too long. It would interrupt stream. Instead, I make dumb fart noises and I'm gonna read story. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. I just want to make sure that you take your threat seriously, but not get yourself too stressed. Okay. This is the part of the wind story where Santa pops out. Right, we also had that ramble. If something happens, you'll wake up in Oz. That's what my mom told my grandma when she was upset. We slept through a tornado siren once. That's terrifying. Ugh. I have done the hide in the tub. I have done the hide in the basement. I have met people that think it's nothing and it's just Oz. And I have met people that are like, the Wizard of Oz was scarring for me because I was young and I had lived in Tornado Alley and it was not silly. There was not a witch flying by. Hell no. There is a tornado outside. Tea is not gonna make me feel better. Yeah. I don't know if it was for you or for me. Let's confirm then, Tsukuyomi, that you have confirmed you have a way to keep track of the weather and such. And then I will do the focus on a silly story and we will be dumb and silly. I think if a tornado was gonna hit me, I'm probably safest on my bed. I don't know if that is true, but I do not know where you are. They say that the tub is safest, or something like that, where it is a bit more put together, but I think that is also hard to know where you are, what is best. Breathing. Okay. I'm gonna read this bit where we talk about a native Santa of sorts. Here we go. Or a stretch. If I get hit by a tornado, I'm 50 Shades of Fun. That's fair. If I were to get hit by that here and now, that is wild. That doesn't happen over here. I have stretched and I have hydrated. Thank you. But I do have a place to go underground here, so that is good. If it was needed. Oh, it's a bunk bed. So if the roof falls in, no. Oh, you mean under? Okay. If I got hit by tornado, I'll be so confused how I got here. Yeah. But, well, how did you get up here? That's very fair. Alright. Stay safe, Tsukuyomi. I'm very nervous. And I will jump it. Excuse me? What are you... Are you there with your sister? Is your sister with you there? She's in the room. Okay. Why is everybody all spread out? If we're that worried, why are we all spread out? Okay, Tsukuyomi. Is tornado really close? Are we really worried of it hitting? Is this something you have not prepared for? It's time to get together if it is something that is we don't know what to do. Okay, so it's not quite so close. But keeping an eye on stuff important, and get together as soon as it is concerned and get in somewhere like basement, tub, wherever is more okay. Yeah, safety first. And I mean, if we're really worried about things, yeah, like I said, we need to be watching after this stuff, watching the trackers. No, Toast, we don't know. You don't know until it's there. I do not have a tracker. Okay, do you know what your most local weather station is? Or I would say instead of being in here, because you've got internet access if you're in here, is to get to someplace that is a tracker. Just any search engine, find it for your location. Yeah, weather station, or just look one up and locate your area. Keeping an eye on that, and maybe having a couple of different ones in different tabs to change up if you think this isn't changing. Let's double check that this one has that at the same spot, and just monitor it. If it gets close, pile up in the right spots, finding good suggestions for things. Or, I mean, if we know of anybody nearby, and by nearby I mean within 2 minutes, walking, running 1 minute, that is a basement because you don't have one. It's important to try and find if you are really this worried, and you are making me this worried. I have a very silly squishy toy that does not sound like fart, but it sounds like sand. Because you are filled with sand, aren't you, little thing? Howard on the internet is up, and trees aren't going crazy. From my experience, you're probably going to be fine. Yes, but this is the sort of thing where I have to say this. If you're going to talk about it in stream that we're worried about it, and that you're hearing people say we're dead, we're going through all of the very specific things we need to do. If there is no changes for a while, something that maybe you have prepped before, where you have some water prepped or some, thank you Hades for looking out lately, if you have candles for in case power does go out, this is an important one. If you have the time, and I mean, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes, you know, I've got a soda or a juice in, or even milk in their plastic containers. If you rinse them out, wash them up quickly, and fill them up with water, that's some stored water if you can trust your water from the tap, so that you can save it real quick. And yeah, get the candles ready or flashlights ready. Make sure your devices are all charged up right now, so that you can get use of them as long as there's still Wi-Fi. But maybe if the power goes out, you at least can try and do things like texting with the service. I looked at the radar, it looks somewhere around the edges of our states. Okay. Alright. That's good. It's a little bit further. But there you go. Those are the little things. And if it's that far, I mean, if you're really worried about things, you don't go anywhere. if things are really close and you can quickly get to them, that's the thing, right? But yeah. It's gonna stress us all out, and not close, not sure how far. Yeah. Make sure to keep an eye on. And this is the thing where it's like I would say, if there's other people with you, if somebody's watching this while we're all doing something else, maybe you guys are listening to a stream, maybe each of you are doing different stuff, but somebody's looking at a radar, everybody's checking it. If there's not one person doing it specifically, yeah. Because then as soon as someone says, oh, it's super far away now, you can have a bit of a breath. You can double check later, and maybe that's going to give you enough rest to be able to go to bed because you say you need to do stuff tomorrow. And yeah, I think I'm desensitized to tornadoes from getting 10 plus a year. That's very fair. And I don't want to say that that's like that this is the bigger thing, because you're like, no, you're probably safe, and that is true. But the difference here is, if you're talking about it like you're nervous about it, we're gonna walk through it together, because that is very spooky. I'm going to be worried. If you think that it's not a big deal, I'm gonna say, well, dang. But I'm still gonna hope that everything's okay, but I'm not gonna be too panicked, because you're not too panicked. That maybe not the right move, but from here I can't really do much. But if you're gonna be nervous about it, I'm gonna try and talk about, okay, let's make sure we do this, because it's gonna make me nervous either way. I hope we've got a bit more of a handle on things now. What is this? This reminds me, Holly, who stopped all her activities when an earthquake hit, and she told any of her viewers in the affected areas to ignore her stream and take precautions. You care about people, as did she, and I appreciate you for it. Thank you. It matters more to do that, and I mean, I gotta say it, and I don't mean to say it in a mean way, but you guys, you gotta know to pick the survival stuff over me in advance. It's not just right away. And that's the point of, like, well, it's not here right now, yes, but in the little lead up, you can get your water, you can get your candles or your flashlights, you can get stuff charged, you can do this stuff. And if you need things to be charged, don't watch stream, put that down and do something else if you can, and that kind of stuff. Japan base for right, big earthquake problems there. Yeah, you're on a fault. I've gotten 5 a week. Eventually, it just became more annoying to me. Yeah, that's very fair. So, yeah, just gonna hope that you're doing that. I'm gonna assume that all of you are gonna look after yourselves, and you know what you need to do for you, but I'm still gonna panic about it just a little bit, because sometimes people do get very desensitized, like you're mentioning, Toast, or maybe they just don't know what they're supposed to know for this stuff, and so I'm gonna try and, you know, do that, because hey, sometimes even when you know what you're supposed to do, if something hits you and you're spooked, if you've got that adrenaline, your brain says, I remember nothing. We have trained, you're right. I remember literally nothing. I think I'm gonna do something that's definitely wrong. Let's do that. Oh, oops. So, we're gonna try. Raven is great, but your personal safety is more important, 1000%. And I do hope that you guys are looking after that, you're valuing that more. Be sure to breathe as well. If you're panicking, worried, take a moment and take a deep breath. I 1000% agree. If you're really worried about this, one of the things that might help is distraction. And that's why it's a good idea to watch stream, but only if you are certain about your power, if you're certain about everything else is lined up and you've done everything you need to do, and all you are doing is waiting because you are anxious and cannot sleep, then I get it. In that case, I always recommend, with those kinds of big feelings, something to keep your hands busy. I'm currently holding this squishy thing. That's doing good numbers for me. Something to have actively at the front of your head, like a watching, but maybe it's a conversation, or maybe you're just trying to practice something, like you're trying to remember a speech from a show you like. You're trying to remember how the dialogue goes in your favorite movie. And in the morning I'll make waffles. Oh, what did he say right before that? I don't know. And whatever, maybe you're doing it, but you're doing the different things. If I ever get the vibe that you are legitimately prioritizing Raven over your immediate safety and well-being, I will quite possibly move to a ban. Honestly, I would say, and this is a warning for everybody, if it gets to that point, I think a ban is fair. Not just because you need to prioritize yourself, but if you are doing this, it is spreading more stress to other people, whether it's real or not. So like, it's just, hey guys, I'm nervous about this, I'm gonna be in here, can we talk about that? Yeah. And then I think if it's a lot, we need to make change, right? 2020, I was making jokes about it in streamer chats. Yeah, it couldn't be me, because it would just be a lot. But I can definitely see myself doing that kind of a here Liz again about other stuff. Yeah. Oh, it seems to be in a city about 30 minutes away from me. Okay, so it's getting further. That sounds good, Tsukuyomi. That sounds very good. Is that helping you take a big breath? Is that helping you? I hope it is. It's helping me, because it sounds like it's getting further away. I don't want to hear that any of you are going through too tough of a time. Not because, like, I don't want to hear it, but because I don't want anybody going through it. Then when I know and I care about y'all, it's only gonna make me more spook. Okay, so sorry for ringing. No, it would be a sorry if it was, I did it to make you squirm. Then you say sorry. Then you beg for forgiveness. If you do it because you're worried, because you need to turn somewhere to get cozy, I get it. We have a rule for no politics versions of this, because there's just too much. There's too much. But weather, there is very specific. We cannot change what the weather has done. We cannot argue with the weather. We cannot punch the weather. We can give very specific, here's this suggestion. We can do this. We got this going. Okay, cool. I am on board. And I would rather walk through it with you and make sure that you are doing okay and you don't do something like, I think I gotta run to X store to stock up on stuff, when you haven't checked how close it is, and then it was too close and you went out. Bad ending there. So I'm very much okay with that. I just I would hate if it was happening a ton. I'm not saying you would, Tsukuyomi, but the kind of person that might do it for, I just want to see you squirm, because people have done that. I'm a very reactive person. People do that where they just want to see me squirm, and it does make me really stressed out, and I don't want to have that happen in this space. But I'm assuming, because it's you, like, that's not what we're doing here. We're worried about stuff and we want to make sure we're okay. So I'm glad that we've pulled further away. Now you can go yell at your sister. We're not dead. Shut up. Shut up, sister. Okay, squishy little thingy that I've stolen from Vi's desk. You look roughly back into your proper shape. Is the nearest Waffle House open? Waffle House Index. That's very important. You can check that. Call the Waffle House. If they're open, you're like, oh, okay, we're good. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they were still running some of those. Very important for knowing the current danger. It's a very helpful index. Oh, okay. With that, we can take deep breath. We can return to Glooskap. my bones still feel like there's ants in them. What a fun feeling. Damn it. Okay. Thank you for hydrated stretch. Oh, Buster Gentle. Oh, one more time. I feel like I need to pop something in my lower back, but I can't do that right now. Thank you, Arctic. Yeah, sounds good. Deep breaths and arson. If by arson you mean lighting a candle, okay. If anything more than lighting a controlled space with fire, no. Maybe you should take a slight break to make tea or just rest. Me? Oh, I'm okay. I just will keep chatting because I'm chatting and we're coming down off of it already. Aw, but why? Because because would you want to be the person that's like, oh, I just feel safe about tornado, and then oops, my house is on fire, never mind. No, you wouldn't want that, would you? It's called empathy. Rage puffing toast? I don't think that this is a time for rage puffing. Honestly. We are needing to bring Raven back down, not amp back up. Oh. No, I did see, I just didn't manage to figure out words. I didn't figure out words while thinking of other words. I had it open and I meant to write, but then I was squishing a little dog. The point is yes. Yeah, I think yes. I had to read the second part more slowly. Yeah. I think it's good. Oh, okay. Okay, who wants fart noise? I said I wouldn't do it again, but then you said fart, and I'm... You're too loud, little guy. I like dumb jokes. I'm wearing a bread on my head. Why have I been given ads? I don't know. That's not even when my ads are supposed to go. Yes or yes to 2. One more fart noise. I'm going to try and keep it far away. Oh, that's a little one. That doesn't sound like a fart. I don't know what that sounded like. Oh no, that little guy. He's losing his... I need to not. I'm ruining Vi's present. I got it for her birthday. Oh, that's very cute though. Oh, I'll have to take a photo of that at some point. Oh, it's cute. I'm sorry you got ads. That's not supposed to happen. Let's read. And rage puffing toast. I'm gonna refund. I am. You may pick something else, but who would know? We have run through so much of the time reading half a story and then getting severely sidetracked. So let me at least finish this story. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, bubble wrap, I do. It wouldn't be available if I didn't have it. In fact, Vi often doesn't have enough bubble wrap. I say as I'm fixing my freaking headphones. And so I bought her a bunch. Bubble wraps is good, yeah. Proof. It is here. I bought her a bunch. That was the other gift I gave her. So I didn't think we'd run through a bunch. So it should be good. Unless some reason you guys redeem bubble wrap the whole time I'm here, I'll be able to leave some with her. That'll be good. Stop being winky! Model, jeez. Trying to have a serious conversation. Was I doing that this whole time? Probably. Oh my god. To the weird Santa insert. Here we go. Where we went off and then went even further off topic. Pages back. The wind and the frost guy, they killed those plants. They killed the leaf trees, but not the needle trees. And now it was autumn. The kids had survived. And at last it came to that time of year when Glooskap, who ruled upon the earth and was very great in those days, gave his yearly gifts to the children. And he came into the land on a sled drawn by his faithful dogs. Not reindeer, dogs, but you know, came in on a sled. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? To find out for himself what the children wished for. And all the children who came to him, each asking for a boon. Now, Glooskap had great power upon the earth in that old time. He could always do what he willed. And the little children whom Wolfwind had tried to harm in his rage came to Glooskap, the magic master of gifts, and they were all very sad because the leaves had gone. "What do you wish?" said Glooskap. "We wish for nothing for ourselves," said the children, "but we ask that the leaves that were killed by Wolfwind because they saved us from his rage be brought back to life and be put back again in their old home in the trees." Glooskap was silent for a long time, and he sat and thought as was his custom, and he smoked hard at his mighty pipe, for he was a great smoker. Now in that time there were no little forest birds upon the earth, for Glooskap had not yet brought them into being. There were only the birds that dwelt near the sea, and over whom Wolfwind had no power. Seagull and crane, wild duck and loon, kingfisher and brant and curlew. These only laughed at the giant in his rage, and screamed in mockery as they flew from him and hid when he came, among the shallows or the rocks or the thick grass in the marshes. And there were also the sturdy birds that dwelt with men and worked for them, giving them eggs and food. These were hen and goose and duck and wild turkey. They gave men food, but they were not fair to look upon. They waddled along and could not fly well, and they made no sweet music upon the earth, for their song was a quack and a cackle. Cackle? No bottle blow. Yeah, sorry, Toast. I did not pack the bottles. I'm sorry. It's not possible. I don't think I packed the little candle, but that's the only glass I packed. Glooskap decided to bring other birds into the world, not to give food, but to bring happiness to the little children on the days when summer dwells in the land, with their pretty feathers and their pleasant songs. So after he had smoked long in silence, he hit upon a plan. And he said to the children, asking for their yearly gifts, "I cannot bring back to the trees the leaves that Wolfwind has killed and stripped off, for it is now too late. But I will take the fallen leaves and change them into little birds. And the birds shall never forget how they were born. When autumn comes, they shall go with summer far away to the summer flower land. But in the springtime, they shall always come back, and they shall live as close as they can to the leaves from which they have sprung. And they shall nest, most of them, in the trees under the leaves. And even those that nest in the grass shall love the trees and linger in them. And they shall all be beautiful in color, like the leaves that gave them birth. And they shall have power to rest at times upon the air like a leaf fluttering. And the voice of the air and the laughing waters shall be in their throats, and they shall sing sweet songs for little children. And I give the children charge over them, to keep them from harm, just as the leaves which gave them birth have saved the little children from the giants. And I will give the trees that Wolfwind has stripped power to bring forth new leaves every springtime, so that when summer comes back from the wilderness of flowers, the trees shall not be bare. And although Wolfwind may strip them off when the Giant of Frost comes with him from the Night-Night Land, they shall always be replaced in the springtime. And I will take away much of Wolfwind's power, so that he can no longer harm little children as wickedly as he has done before. Considering how magic he is, could he not have fully done stuff? But yeah, sure, okay, fine. Glooskap waved his magic wand. Oh, that's new. He has a magic wand. As was his custom, but that's also like waving a magic wand. Even that phrase is not like you know that's European as hell, right? So Glooskap is not what Glooskap probably began as, but anyway. And at once great flocks of little birds sprang from the ground where the fallen leaves had lain. And they twittered and sang in great chorus and flew back to the trees. They were full of beautiful colors like the leaves that had given them birth. What, Bardic? What? What are you saying? Do I need to prepare a bonk? What are you saying? And the birds twittered and sang in a great chorus and flew back to the trees. They were of beautiful colors, like the leaves that had given them birth. There were robin redbreasts and thrushes all brown and red, from the red and brown leaves of the oak. And there were finches and hummingbirds, all yellow and green and brown, from the leaves of the alder and the willow. And they glowed like willows in the sunlight and fluttered like a leaf upon the air. There were yellow birds, all of changing colors, red and purple and brown. Oh no, wait. There were yellow birds and Canadian warblers from the golden beech and birch leaves, and there were scarlet tanagers and orioles and grosbeaks, all of changing colors, red and purple and brown, from the leaves of the Canadian maple. And they all sang to the children, and the children were all very happy again. And try and fix sleep. It's already 11. No, you can go to bed. Toast, you can eat. Take care of yourself. That is what matters. Then Glooskap sent the little birds all away to warm country until the rule of the Giant of the Frost from the Night-Night Land was over. For it was winter in all the land, and it was very cold. But in the springtime the little birds always come back from the summer flower land, and they build their nests among the trees as close as they can to their kindred, the leaves from which they came. And all day long they sing among the leaves for the little children. At daybreak they wake the children with their choir of dawn, and at twilight they lisp and twitter to lull the children to sleep. And at night they hide among the leaves from Wolfwind, and are very still, with never a twitter or a song. For they do not forget that they are the children's gift from Glooskap, and that they came from the leaves stripped from the trees by Wolfwind, because the leaves saved the little children from the giant long ago. In the end. Woohoo! We did actually finish one story. It's gonna pull 48 hours of sleep. Oh my god. That's absurd. Toast? No. I will bonk. That's illegal. If you do ever try and stay up, I say go to bed early on the next day. Go to bed like way early on the next day. That's how you do it. Because your body's gonna really want that sleep. Don't make them wake up. At least that's how I am. But you should, if you can, go to bed. I believe in you. It's not that late. You can try. You can try, and then if it really doesn't work, then get up and do something else, and then try again. And you're making me eepy. Damn it. This is not helpful. Alright, let's see how long this next story is. We can probably finish that if I don't go off on a random ramble. Alright. We have bubble wrap pops, and we have singing bowl to do, and then we will do probably Rabbit and the Grain Buyers. Trust, this is how you're supposed to fix it. Sleep debt is a thing. You will feel very tired. Like, you know your body, okay, but still, either way, it is better to go to bed now. It is. Pretty sure. Okay, I am going to prep. Well. Ah! Well, next one will be a rabbit and these green briars, and that is too big. But now we're doing bubble wrap. Alright. I'm going to turn down the audio and it doesn't pop so much. I will wait. Okay, eat well, Sukiyomi. Please take care. I'm glad you can get to bed now. Yes, I'm sure your eyes burn. I hope you can get everything done that you need to do tomorrow, but please be easy on yourself, please. Okay, good night, good night. Let's do some bubble wraps. Should I turn off my other bubbles? Let's turn off the other bubbles for now. And the fire cracking, because that's gonna sound too similar. Yeah. I need a different bubble wrap paper. I'm gonna go back to the other one. I just want to see another thing. Okay. Oh my god! Goose! 14 months! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is absurd. Are you serious? This is really happening? 18. Oh my god. I can't. Let's drop some money, frogs. I am so excited. There you go. Thank you, honk. Thank you. I can't believe it's been that long either. Like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. And toast, you have 8 hours. Why do you assume you will spend 4 hours awake? You can try. I believe in you. I think it is important to get your sleep. I think it is very important to do that. If you really, really disbelieve, then okay. Goes like that. Hey, it works. It works. It's a very cute one. I can't stop waking. My model is very drunk. I don't actually. I should check out where her blush trigger is in this form. I don't know where it is. I actually don't. Where is that? Is it in here? Maybe if I do this. That didn't work. This one? That didn't work. Hello? 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 None of this is working. Flowers? No. Cry? No. Nothing is set up for me. It's good. I tried. There's nothing here for me. Yep. Alright. Oh, we have another hydrate. Thank you, Arctic. Dehydrate illegal. If I'm not tired, I get consumed in the ASMR RP plot and don't sleep. But if I am tired, then it's just gentle talking. Well, what if you don't listen to RP if you listen to just sounds instead? Just eats a handful of salt. Goose shall not stop to hydrate. I did recently drink a little bit of salt water. Like homemade salt water, not ocean water. Don't ask why. I will not answer. Ooh. I found an emote of Lahong. Look, it's a goose at a desk. Look at that. I think you're one piece that, yeah, it's too calm. He's doing the right things. That's wrong. I don't think that's right. The real goose would be more chaos. More. Definitely way more. But I guess that's him when he's being a good goose. Hey, I'm always calm. Are you? Actually, yeah. You do all your chaos with a calm demeanor. I guess it's just that you do too much. I hate 99% of ASMR triggers and most sounds. Really, Toast? Which ones do you like? You've redeemed Humming and Singing Bowl. I have a mini humming playlist. A very small one. I think I haven't put them together. It's on the general. You'll have to make your own playlist out of my playlist. I have the 3 humming videos. 2 are 15 minutes long and 1 is 20 minutes long. But they have the "Hi, it's me, Raven. Welcome to Emerald Lake" at the start of each of them. But they're very quick. The repetition of sounds bring me very much anger or discomfort. Oh, so you like a short trigger. Why do you redeem things if you don't like it? Do I need to give you redeems that are not? Because this is the thing. I am going to be, once I figure out my new laptop, thank you everybody. I'm slowly working on it, putting the things together, but being here, there's kitties, and I'm trying to do more streams, and that means do this instead of, anyway. I'm going to be changing some things, and one of the things I'm going to be fixing up. Ooh, Twitch, are you okay? Uh-oh. Oh, I'm here, right? Wait, Lahong, we got it a little bit ago, and I'm so pleased, but it also took a couple hiccups to get it. I also got a stream deck But yeah, for example, tapping is annoying AF and I hate listening to it. Oh, okay. Well, what was I saying? I'm going to have redeems that are more of a put the bread on your head, um, get the frogs involved, and that sort of thing. Lahonk, you're evil. I'm refunding that immediately because that was very much mean spirited. That was evil. I refund. If you really want it, you can buy it again. But I have refunded it right now. Mommy is nice. It's similar to your voice. So it's pleasant to the ear. Okay, that's good. Okay, so you have about 50 minutes of humming that you can put together. And there's my origami videos, which are silly, but they're very soft spoken. Less than I am, like softer than I am now. What about mouth pops? Mouth pops is still a repetitive thing, and that's not a voice sound. That's just a mouth. So I don't know. Oh, I'm asking because you still redeem things, and I'm like, do you not want the singing bowl to happen? Are you just trying to participate? Hold on, I got distracted. Hold on. I normally just turn my volume down when tapping or things are happening. Okay. Well, I can. I'd like to try and give you other stuff. Anyway, but I do plan on having those redeems of changing that stuff around. You know, like Vi has her rat hands, which I tried to trigger, but that didn't work. The OBS and the system with me is decidedly not a thing. It's decidedly not cooperating. And so another time we can do those. But that's one of the plans for once I get things set up. Fixing my setup and or using the new thing. Mouth maps are a bit odd and depends on my mood. Okay. I will hydrate again, okay? The hawk. I am adjusting. I just did posture check. Okay. Those are also classic ones to use. And I suppose you like the origami streams better then, because I don't do as many ASMR breaks in between. Anyway, if you still want singing bowl, we'll do singing bowl, but I'll start with humming. You tell me if you want a refund. You said you like humming, so I'm going to start with humming here. And you said you want the goose song, and I will start with the goose song. Okay. Come here, Mike. I'll do another song in a second. So I tend to do finger less. I tend to do nails more because I've been told that is preferred. You're not a bit odd. That's fair. I've said it before that before starting doing ASMR, before Vi got me into it, I was like, isn't that a sound we don't like? I thought that's a bad sound. People want to hear that? What? For most of the ASMR sounds. I'm not kidding. And then I do it, and like people talk about getting the tinglies. I just have to like be thinking about it properly, and then I get tinglies down my spine. If I'm like letting my brain go a mile a minute elsewhere and stuff, I no, it's too busy. But I can, and so I'm like, how did I not know none of this? So no, it's not odd. We're all different. You just feel odd because you're in a community where that's like emphasized. You're fine. I'm gonna do another hum. Do you want me to get rid of singing bowl? It will be a high pitched repetitive. You know how it is. It's your ribbits. You can save them for everybody shut up mode and um humming and what will soon be give me the frogs and give me the bread. And I think I am going to add a skip that. Skip that. Also, there's the hydration, the water, the posture check. Those are good too. I think I'm gonna add a skip the thing. So you can do the. I don't want to listen to that right now. Nope, nope. But I think I will put a max on like one per person for every. I don't know. I want to say like 30 minutes, so that you can say no. You don't get to do that tappies. But damn it. They will do that mouth pops. You know what I mean? Anyway, okay. Here's another song. Let's do another. I forgot what I was gonna do. I want to do one more song. I'm gonna hit snooze on the ad, but that's your warning that there is going to be an ad soon. Which will I pick? My brain. Wink, wink, wink. My eyes are open. I have turned. Well, that time it's not. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Wink, wink, wink. I'm not closing my eyes. I'm just turning my head. Why are you winking? Oh, why are you drunk? Why are you drunk, model? Oh, she's so odd. Okay, there is your humming. It sounds like you got a lot of sounds that you're just like not on board for. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's do singing bowl. You haven't said no singing bowl, so I'm going to do singing bowl. If you don't like it, I won't do it. But I'm going to do singing bowl. So here we go. Come here. There we go. Come on. What? Huh? What have I done? There we go. Oh my god. Well, that was supposed to capitalize, but whatever. We're using Vi's little singing bowl. It's not like my big singing bowl. One sing along to this. Oh right, I saw it, but I was humming and I didn't respond. I'm so excited, Turt. I'm glad. You're nearly ready to share. I think I need to schedule a reading other people's stories stream soon, because we've got a couple now. And if yours is ready, this is my first time writing long form and not a poem for enjoyment. Ooh, okay. I'm excited for you. Alright, here we go. God, this melon is not nice. I think I would prefer. Yeah, it's like I think it's too old. She needs to get new felt on her mallet. It is too worn down. Okay. You're supposed to be able to use the wood inside too. Why is her not going? Wow, okay. Her wood inside is not a nice wood. That's not gonna work. You have to use the mallet side that is funky. I do not like it. I wonder if anybody's been listening to Vi when she's trying to do this. Oh, there's an ad. That's why I was saying it. I saw it. There's an ad incoming very shortly. I cannot stop it. I'm warning you now. The ad is coming. The ad is coming. Beware, beware the ad. What I was saying. Well, then if Vi's been playing that recently, she would be having a struggle. That thing was not nice. I need to get new felt for her thing. Or not felt, it's usually like a hide. But like, it is so worn down. I wish I had the camera up to show you. Oh, and most of you can't hear me anymore. But it is so thin and it is slick. It is not fuzzy. It's supposed to be fuzzy. Because she has just worn it way down. I wonder, I have a little leather piece that keeps my mic arm on my desk because it's too slippy. And I brought that along with my mic arm, but I wanted to use it to protect her table. I could try and I don't know. I could give up my leather so that she could get a new mallet thing, but she needs some good glue. It is fuzzy. It's not properly fuzzy anymore. It is. Ugh. You're back from Mad Welcome. Sorry, I'm talking about the leather on the mallet being very crappy because it's just been worn down so well. And like, it's good to be worn down, but it's been worn down so much it can't get the right kind of, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's bad for playing this. You say. I haven't gotten ads yet. What will the ads support you? To say like 4 messages a minute ago. Oh! I like Singing Bowl. Oh my gosh, now I see it. Yes. Sorry I didn't see the I like Singing Bowl bit. And I'm sorry I didn't play it very well. Pretty fun after. I like write a lot of research papers, how I was writing just a story, pretty fun. I did still have a fair bit of constraint just due to exactly what I was going for, but it was still just a great way to change it up while still letting out some creativity. That's nice. With my story, I was actually going to make it a bit of a request. I know I said it was more Vi, but it's kind of for use too, so I was thinking of asking if y'all could read it together once it's fully set. Ooh. How would you want it to be read together? I think you're gonna have to ask her about how you want it to be, like, shared that work. But yeah, maybe. I wonder, but I'm not certain of anything. If it doesn't work, that's fine. But just a thought. Okay, well, thank you. I think we need to check in with Vi about it, about when and how. Yeah. We will be getting into a story, and I'm going to turn back the sounds again. Because they are nice to have. I can't run all this stuff. Hi, Bubbles. Hi, fire burning. I also had the rain outside. There we go. Oh, it's so cozy now. How are the cats? It sounds like they have gone the frick to bed. Because they were being crazy before. I am responding to a thing, don't worry about it. There you go. I hope that the kitties are good. I had some fun. Okay, so I had some sandwich meat, alright? Because I have sandwiches here. It was good. And in between last stream and this one, I got the very enthusiastic man, and very food motivated and otherwise uninterested in me dude to have some fun. So he was attacking his sister, he was being loud, yelling for food, and he was chasing his tail a lot. You know what that told me? He needs some enrichment activities. So I found a wand and I was using that, but that one wasn't totally it. I needed a longer wand. Vi had a hidden super special like almost like a fishing rod wand, and I used that. I should put this over here. And he was losing it, so I sent a video to Vi, and she was appreciative. She was like, yeah, he's a very playful boy. And I was like, yes, that was clear. And he was still being like extra he's being extra needy about food because I had to eat in between, and he was like suddenly close to me and like rubbing up against my legs, and I was like, okay, yeah, I get the feeling you want food, sir, but we are not promoting begging. So I waited till he left and realized that he was not going to get what he wanted from begging, and then I also glad the Reddit's here today. Yes, well, we needed it earlier. I think I got my brain back a little bit. But not fully. He needed to leave first, and so then I got the impression that okay, he's gonna actually learn that he can't beg. Been listening to ASMR for 9 months. Tons of ASMR artists. You have top 10. Oh, thank you, Toast. I appreciate that, because, like, I'm just a little streamer. And I don't think I'm getting much anywhere, but it really does make me feel good that at least somebody's, you know, you little crowd enjoy me a good deal. Just together on stream, little collab maybe. Yeah, I thought it might be it. I don't know how I want to do it. I haven't asked about yet. I meant, like, it's not something where you have specific Raven. Raven. You know, like who reads what parts. It's just we read together. We'll parse that out ourselves. That's what I meant. Because, like, when we did the script, we had very specific, one person read this, one person read that. I actually spent a lot of time trying to make that as even as possible, while also giving us the parts that we liked the best. It was very, yeah. With only 2 people, it's kind of tough. But okay. The face that she just made. One eye closed, and the other eye looking up. Model, go home, you're drunk. You're drunk. Why are you a pirate? Stop it. Stop it. I was saying that I was doing stuff with the kitty. It was cute. Let me finish. Brain. I had my turkey sandwich. It was just turkey breast slices and cheese and lettuce and mustard. Very simple. But when the dude left me alone a little bit more, I got some pieces of turkey. And I taught that man how to give me a high five. I also tried to get him to lay down. He could not for the life of him pick that up, and you could very much see that he was getting annoyed. Just like earlier when he was trying to beg and I kept petting him and he stayed there, he was very clearly getting annoyed. But he was like, I have to stay because I have to beg. If it gives me food, it's worth it. I was like, okay, I should stop annoying him. Sure, just leave. But then, yeah, when we were trying to train, he got the high five. He nailed it. Repeatedly. But laying down, he was getting angry. And he would have lashed out if there was not food involved. And then the little lady was like, what are we doing? I'll check it out. And then I tried to give her a piece of the turkey and she was like, oh, that's what we're doing? No. Uninterested. No, thank you. It was very cute of her. It was very cute. But yeah, I was very pleased. Anyway, that's how the cat is doing for the most part. There you go. And thank you again for compliment Toast. Now, I think we will read Rabbit and the Grain Buyers. How about that? I think that's what I had copied. Yes, it is! Look at that, I nailed it. Okay. So we're gonna read this story. It's probably our last bit of the stream. There's not much left. And hopefully I don't get distracted. Because I do need to go as soon as we're done. I might need to go emote only to make sure we finish it. Thank you for hydrate. Okay. Alright, in fact, I know I don't have it, but I'm going to say we're not going to do any other redeems for the rest of the stream. If you put them in, I'll ignore it until I finish my story. And if we have time, I'll do them, but I don't think we'll have time. So here we go. I need to hurry. Rabbit and the Grain Buyers. Once long ago, when the Indians lived in Canada before the white man came, Rabbit was very lazy. Did we need to have the lead up every time? I know I'm interrupting myself and causing time, but we don't need to have that. We have that already in... Put it, you know? Okay. Then don't be distracting, LaHonk. We can do this. Anyways, way back when, once long ago, Rabbit was very lazy. It's to keep you safe from tornado, LaHonk. Please. Okay. He had worked long for Glooskap, the great ruler of the people, as a forest guide. But his toil was not appreciated or rewarded. He saw all the other animals idling their time away, taking their ease all day long and doing nothing but filling their bellies with food. and sleeping all afternoon in the hot sunshine. And he said, "Why should I work for other people when nobody works for me? I will take mine ease like all the other animals." But he's not busy. I wish him nothing but safety, happiness, and good work to this. Stop pouting, Cage. You silly. You silly. Okay. Focus, Rabbit. We can do this. Okay. Huh? Wake up. Rabbit wants to be lazy. We said that to tell Harry he got accepted. Here? What? Huh? I feel like if I ask, it's gonna be a D's nuts joke or something. No. I focus. Shut up, Long. Rabbit wants to be lazy in the sunshine, and he said, "Why should I work? I want to take my time." So he sulked in his little house for a long time and could not be coaxed or driven to do any work. But as he was a lonely fellow who always lived by himself with very few friends in the world except little children, he soon got tired of his lazy life. Stop it! For by nature he was industrious and energetic, and he always liked to be doing something or prowling alone in the forest. So he said, "I must find some work to do, or I shall surely lose my wits. But it must be labor that brings profit to myself and not to other people." I'm not looking at chat. I'm not looking at track. For a long time, Rabbit puzzled his brains, thinking on a business or a profession to follow, but nothing seemed to be to his liking. At last, one day, he saw some Indians trading skins and knives. One was selling, and others were buying, and they seemed to be making a great deal of money without doing very much work. Rabbit thought that here, indeed, was an easy way to make a living. Then he saw a duck coming along carrying a basket of eggs. He said to Duck, "How do you get along in the world? You seem to do nothing but eat and cackle and swim in the pond. You never seem to work." And Duck said, "I lay eggs and sell them in exchange for corn. Why don't you lay eggs? It is all very easy." "Well, some of us don't do that." "Some of us are not, well, involving eggs." Duck, making a lot of assumptions about Rabbit. Considering there was he and his, it's not very... Shut up, Duck. Anyway, but Rabbit knew that Duck was only laughing at him, and that he was not meant to make a living in that way. Well, yeah, obviously. Then he met Bee on the forest path, and he said, "How do you make a living, you wandering bee? You do nothing but gad about all day long, going from flower to flower, dressed in your good clothes of yellow and black, and always singing your tuneless song." And Bee said, "I make honey and wax and sell them. I have a great store for sale now. Why don't you do as I do? I am always happy. I always sing at my work. And what's more, my song is not tuneless. And just for your impudence, take that." And so saying, he stung Rabbit on the nose and went on his way. Well, there's a couple of issues with that. Typically, the bees is ladies. Also, if his bee ain't stung, then is dead. That is not bee, that is wasp. But okay, story, we pretend. It's story. He went on his way singing his droning song. Rabbit rubbed his nose in the earth to ease his pain, and he swore vengeance on Bee, for he knew that Bee was too only laughing at him. But he could think of no way to make an easy living, for he had nothing to sell but his coat, and he could not very well barter that, for winter would soon be coming on. He was very angry and troubled, and he envied Duck and Bee their good fortune because of their eggs and honey and wax. At last he thought of the Indians he had watched buying and selling skins. "I have it," he cried, "I have it! I will become a great merchant. I will be a great trader. I will live on a farm where they grow corn and vegetables, and I will steal them and sell them to the other animals, and thereby make a great store of money. I shall be very rich in a short time." So very happy, he went to a field near which was a vegetable garden, and in it were growing Indian corn and all kinds of grain. Why do you have to... It's just corn. Why did we need... It's just corn. Oh my gosh, I'm mad. Okay. Corn and all kinds of grain, which he knew the other birds and animals would gladly buy. So he made a sign and put it up in front of his house, and it said, "Buy Rabbit's corn, the best in all the land. It will grow without rain. There is only a small quantity left. Orders taken here." Then he sat in his house and waited. Only 50% love. Aw, darn. Soon many buyers began to arrive. They were curious, and they wanted to see what kind of merchant Rabbit would make. Rabbit explained to them that he was only an agent, and they must pay him their money, and he would take it to the farmer and deliver their grain at his house 1 week from that day. The buyers paid him the money and went away, for they were afraid the farmer would kill them if they went themselves for the corn. They left a great store of money with Rabbit. That night, when the moon rose over the hills, Rabbit went to the field of corn nearby. But the farmer had spied him thieving that afternoon, and he had placed around his corn a fence of strong netting which poor Rabbit could not get through, and he had also placed around the field many watch-dogs which growled and snarled and frightened thieves away. Night after night Rabbit tried to slip into the field, but without success, and the week passed, and still he had no corn for the customers who, he knew, would soon be arriving for their goods. And meanwhile he had spent all their money, and he knew they would all fall upon him and kill him if he failed to keep his word and deliver their purchases. "You're gonna fight now." Oh no. At last, when the day agreed on arrived, he saw his customers coming for their grain. Oh, that adds up to 60%. Well, that's pretty good. Okay, everybody's coming for the grain. And he hoped that his tricks would save him, as they had saved him many times before. He sat in his yard playing his flute, when Earthworm, the first customer, arrived. Oh, you're gonna say, "You eat this, you eat that, you eat that," aren't you? Ugh, we had this story already. "Good day," said Rabbit. "Good day," said Earthworm. "I have come for my corn, for a week has gone by." "Very good," said Rabbit, "but first we shall have dinner. It will be ready in a few minutes. You must be hungry after your long journey." Poor Earthworm is the one that's not going to get any food at all. As they sat waiting for their dinner, they saw Duck, another customer, waddling up the path with her basket on her neck. And Rabbit said, "Will not old Duck who comes here want to eat you up?" And Earthworm said, "Yes, yes, where shall I hide?" And he was much excited. "Hide under this clamshell," said Rabbit. So Earthworm crawled under the clamshell and sat very still, trembling for his life. Poor guy. When Duck arrived, Rabbit said, good morning, Mr. Merchant," said Duck, wishing to be polite. "I have come for my corn, for it is the appointed day of delivery." "True, true," said Rabbit, "but first we shall have dinner. It will be ready in a few minutes. It will be an honor for me to have you dine with me." As they sat waiting for their dinner, Rabbit said, "Would you care to eat an earthworm before your dinner? It would be a good appetizer for you." And Duck said, "Thank you very much. I am very fond of earthworms." Rabbit lifted the clamshell, and poor Earthworm was quickly gobbled up by Duck. And Rabbit, laughing to himself, thought, "Now I am getting rid of my customers." I get the feeling that the way this is going to go, we're going to pass along to each animal, and then when the very last one is the one, Buddy's going to still want something to eat, and Buddy's going to eat Rabbit. I'm calling it now. Come here, you goose. No! Okay. As Rabbit and Duck sat talking, they saw Fox trotting up the path. He was another customer coming for his corn, and Rabbit said courteously, "Madam, I see your old enemy Fox approaching. He will probably wish to eat you up. You had better hide." And Duck with her feathers all ruffled with excitement. "Yes, yes, where shall I hide?" And Rabbit said, "Hide under this blanket." And so Duck crawled under the overturned basket and sat very still. Fox soon came in and said, "Good day, Rabbit. I have come for my corn, for I am in sore need of it to catch chickens, and the 7 days have passed." "You are very punctual," said Rabbit, "but first let us have dinner. It will be ready in a few minutes. It will make you stronger to carry your heavy load." As they sat waiting for dinner, Rabbit said, "Listen, Fox, would you care to eat a fat duck now? It would be a tasty bit for you before you dine." And Fox said, "You are very kind. I always like to eat a duck before my dinner." Rabbit knocked over the basket, and Fox quickly devoured poor Duck until not a feather remained. And Rabbit laughed to himself and said, "Surely I am getting rid of my customers very easily." "Aw, you guys hugged. That's nice. There was no fight. Aw. I appreciate those." As Rabbit and Fox sat talking over old times in the forest, they saw a bear coming lumbering up the path, tossing his head from side to side and sniffing the air. And Rabbit said, "Bear is in a bad temper today. I wonder what can be the cause." And Fox said, "This morning I stole all his money and he saw me running away." "He sent you here," said Rabbit. "He will not kill you if he finds you? Perhaps you ought to hide." "Yes, yes," said Fox, "but where shall I hide?" "Hide in this box," said Rabbit, and Fox sprang into the box, and Rabbit closed down the lid. When Bear arrived, he said gruffly, for he was in a bad temper, "Good day, Rabbit. I have come for my corn, and I must have it quickly, for I must be on my way. It is the appointed time." "It is indeed the appointed time," said Rabbit, "but first we shall have dinner. It will be ready in a few minutes, and I never let a wayfarer leave my house without first taking nourishment. I have today a dish of fresh fish, which you like very well, and we have never yet dined together." And Bear agreed to wait, and his gruffness left him at the thought of this good meal, for he was a great fish eater, and he talked pleasantly. Then Rabbit said, "I have a secret to tell you. Let me whisper it." He put his mouth close to Bear's ear and said, "Old Fox, the sly thief who stole all your money this morning, is hiding in the box by your side. He came here to boast about his theft, and he laughed loudly to me as he told me how easily you were cheated. He called you lack brains." What did he do? Bear was very angry, and at once he knocked the lid from the box and killed Fox with one blow of his powerful paw. And Rabbit said to himself, "What luck I am having! There is another of my customers gone." But he wondered how he was to get rid of Bear, and he scratched his head in thought. While Bear and Rabbit sat talking, they saw Rabbit's last customer, the hunter, coming along. "You're kidding me. This Rabbit made a deal with a person?" Bear would have run away, but it was too late. "Will the hunter not want to kill you?" said Rabbit, glad to think that here was the end of poor Bear. "Indeed he will," said Bear. Oh dear, where shall I hide?" "Hide under my bed in my house," said Rabbit. Poor Bear quickly dashed into the house and crawled under Rabbit's bed with great difficulty, for he was very fat and the bed was very low, and he had to lay himself out flat on the floor. Oh, is this the origins of a bearskin rug? Well, wait. But he was comfortable in the thought that he would soon escape. When Hunter arrived, he said, "Good day, Rabbit. I have come for my corn. My children need bread." "You shall have it," said Rabbit, "but first we must have a bite to eat. I have not very much to offer you, but I can give you in a few minutes some hot pancakes and fresh maple syrup." Ow! The hunter was well pleased with the thought of such a good meal, and he said he would be glad to wait. Then Rabbit said, "Would you like some bear meat for your children and a good warm bear skin for your hearth?" And the hunter said, "I would indeed, but in these days such luxuries are hard to find." And Rabbit said, "Oh no, they are not. Under my bed in my house, a good fat bear is hiding. He is lying flat on his back, and you can easily kill him." The hunter hurried to the house, and sure enough, there he found Bear hiding under the bed flat upon his back. He killed him with a blow and skinned him and cut him up into small pieces and put the meat and the skin into a bag to take home to his children. But while he was about it, Rabbit slipped away into the forest, saying to himself, "Now I have got rid of all my customers, and I am safe. You sly little shit! But the life of a merchant is not to my liking. I will not be a trader any more. I will gather corn for myself, but not to sell to others." And he ran quickly away and hid himself in a dense thicket. How has he gotten so many hugs? I don't know, but he's also gotten many slaps. Let me see. Let's see. Yep, just as many slaps. I had to balance it out to make sure it was more slaps than hugs. Look at that. 104. I mean, he has been here for 14 months. It makes sense. Okay, the very last paragraph, and it's really short. We had lots of time. We still have a half an... How did I read it that fast? I didn't think it would be this fast. When the hunter went to look for Rabbit, he could not find him, nor was he able to find his grain. And although he thought he had fared pretty well by getting so much bear meat, he swore vengeance on Rabbit for his deceit, and to this day he searches for him, and if he meets him he will not let him escape. And Rabbit lives by himself and keeps away from the hunter as far as he can, for he fears him because of the trick he played upon him in the olden days. The end. Well, that is cute. That is quite cute. Thank you, Rabbit Story. I've never had such ability to be able to quickly go check out Discord. I'm checking in. I will be reading these more thoroughly. Cat bread. Thank you. Alright. Don't check it. Don't check it! I will stop checking it. Okay. I had to check. The next story would be St. Nicholas and the Children. I do not trust reading it all right now, because there is every possibility I read it very quickly, like I just did, or I take an hour because I just decide to go off on a random nonsense. But this is very clearly involving St. Nicholas, which is some bullshit for being involved in this. Disappoint. Why was I slapped? Because you like it? That sounds kinky, but that's just true. You like violence. You have said so. Also, it was because you had so many hugs, and that's too many hugs. You have outed that I have been slapped more, but hey. How about you try hug me and see how many hugs I've gotten though? I think I've gotten more hugs than slaps. I think. I don't know. I don't got much of either. Aww. Whoa, where did that go? No, I don't hug birds. I'm not a freaking... What the hell is wrong with you? You're so mean. I've only been hugged 53 times? That's so illegal. That's illegal. I'm very mad at you. Now I've given Arctic a hug. There you go. I blame you, Lahonk. I bet you're the reason why I've been slapped. You deserve the slaps. You start slap fights. I don't deserve it. That's mean. I guess I should stop reading stories for you guys. You're so ungrateful. You slap me. First hug. I'm just a goose. You're not just a goose. You are the goose of the stream. The silly goose. The bonk-side goose. This is a hug for Arctic, not for you. There you go. Well, I'm very tempted to finish the SCP we left almost finished, earlier today, but that is illegal. I will save it for the SCP stream. We have some shorter ones to go with it, so it'll be fine. I believe in us. It'll be okay. Yeah. Alright, well, everybody. Professor stream because there was a delay, but now we got ads. Oh, I'm sorry. Unfair. Unfair. I will say... Oh, I was just hydrating anyway. Thank you, Arctic. I will say that we should plan who we want to raid out to. I think we should plan that. I think I should talk about the next little bit. Okay, you 12 folks in here right now, or roughly that many of you that are here. Someone has hydration, but yes, yes I do. Oh no, someone that has, I misread because it wasn't quite wrong. Aha! Well, I imagine everybody does. I think that's an auto button. I think it is. I think that was Twitch trying to be nice to everybody. Aw, Toast, you hug yourself. I'm glad you got your hug. Okay. We will raid out. I have the plan tomorrow to do SCP and Folktale again. There is no reason for me to believe that that will change at this point. But I know that there was a couple things that were like, hey, things could make change soon. And so I'm just saying this. But something that will definitely not change unless I have a big freak out, because I will be mad about it if this does. I will be having my birthday stream on the 23rd, on Friday. So I will have tomorrow's 2 streams, and then I will have nothing on Thursday while I try and make sure I get everything together and try and adjust stuff in OBS, because it's been a weird Jenga tower. What I think I gotta do is make whole new scenes myself. I think I have to, and just, we'll find out, but I think that's what I have to do. And then what we're gonna do is have a fun little party with some different people popping in. I've had a few different streamers say that they're up for joining, but it's also been some mods. So I know that Mask has said that he's in. Turt, who is not my mod but is Vi's mod, said that he's in. Cage would have joined us, but then issues. And a few more sprinklers. If you were there for Vi's birthday stream, it's gonna be a few people from Vi's birthday stream, specifically the people that were there while I was there. And then we've got a couple more little surprises for new friends that I have made. And I hope that we can do stuff. The current games plan is just Among Us and Jackbox games, thanks to Vi's lovely Steam account. And that will be good, and it will be fun. I'm very excited. I'm very nervous about how I'm gonna put stuff together, and that's why I need Thursday, where I'm just like slowly going through things, making sure everything is tidied up, and I might be trying to test things with people. So we will see. It might be that I bother Cage or Mask or, you know, a couple of you guys that are mods tomorrow when I normally stream, if you are free, of just like, hey, can we make sure that this works? Because I'm nervous. I have not bothered with this, and because I was supposed to just use Vi's stuff, it shouldn't have been a problem, but because Vi's OBS is being mean, I'm very scared, and so I think I should just make my own thing and start from scratch. We'll find out. But yeah, Bread Brains. Yes, Sir Bog. It's Bread Brains. Hi. I hate to be, unfortunately leaving, but I think I am. It's not really the quality. Hold on, wait a second. Huh. Whatever. I will not bother with that. I will not mess with that. It's like, why does this video quality look fuzzy? It just is. It looks fuzzier there than it does in my OBS screen. But I'm not messing with her settings in that regard. Okay. Ah! Well, damn it. Hello, Raiders. Oh my gosh, Hyacinth. We were just talking about my birthday stream. Kappa. Aww. Are we snooze? Let's get some cuppa or snooze. We were talking about needing tea earlier. Hello, Hyacinth. Welcome in. Hello, newbies. Okay, welcome in all you newbies. Everybody that says hi, welcome in, Raiders. Thank you for giving the shout out for Hyacinth. Thank you for the follow. Orsinus Orca 92. We have a tradition here where we drop dance emotes whenever someone new joins. So there's yours, Dancies. And then I scroll. Everybody's says hello. Hello. Evil Flame 01. You also get some sort of dancing. What kind of dancing are we going to do? I'm gonna use Vi's dances because they're right here. The rat dance. Rat dance. Rat dancing. Sorry I missed the end of stream. You're okay. You're in here now though. Oh my goodness. Hello everybody. Thank you for the warm welcome and the shout out. Such a pleasure surprise to come back to your folktales after a bit of work. Well, I was gonna try and wrap up, but you know what? We can try and find a super speedy one. That's not speedier. That's not. There's often ones that are like very quick. You know what? This one might be the speediest that we can get. An anonymous sub! Thank you for that! I didn't hold you back from the party. No, it's okay if we do a quick one. Oh my goodness! I was also just talking about birthday stream and how we have some different people that were in Vi's birthday stream here while I'm at Vi's Apothecary. Apothecary sitting, and that's you! You were one of the peoples! Yeah! Look at you using the Cupid frog. That's not a typically used one. But if you can join us, Hyacinth, we have a tradition of whenever someone gifts something, bits, subs, throne stuffs, whatever, we drop some money frogs. Now there is a Money Frog 7 TV if anybody wants to use that. There's the most that we have, and then there's also, you can do whatever equivalent, like Toast has been using a credit card emote, and that's a perfectly good one, and Cage's own Cajun money, that one's good too. It's just our little thing, just like our welcoming folks with dance parties. That's what we do. Yeah, see, there's Toast. Thank you so much. We were also talking about looking forward to your funky birthday celebration. Oh my god, thank you. I'm so excited. We had a couple more people that are interested that I didn't originally have and weren't in Vi's, so I'm very excited. Yeah, we're gonna be playing a couple games, and what's nuts is that we might also be eventually promoting a different stream, but I don't want to embarrass just yet, and I don't want to just spook. But we have a non-birthday party stream. Okay, you're good. Call this out. And like Cage is having a celebration stream, so we're going to be doing games with Cage too. And this is the Discord messages I've been checking in on. He's been doing stuff. Yeah. Now, okay, Hyacinth, everybody that's rated over, go look after yourselves however you need to. We're going to be rating out in a bit too. I'm going to try to read this story pretty quick. Cage, do you have a hydration button? Arctic likes to make sure we're all hydrated. We are going to read this one story. We were reading Canadian Folktales, and I've been kind of poking at, this is somewhere in between proper Indigenous stories and more mixed in with other stories. The next story that was going to be on the list by order was one that literally says Saint Nicholas. So I'm like, no, this is not an Indigenous story. Because the author tried to say, these are Indigenous stories. And I'm like, buddy, no. Partially, but no. These are not Indigenous folktales. So, but this is somewhere in between. And so we're going to do that. We're going to read just one more story. This one is called The Boy Who Was Called Thickhead. I chose it because it seems to be not very long. Okay? It's what we're doing. It's what we're doing. Here we go. It's me, Cat. Look at you enjoying the frogs. I'm so excited. Indigenous stories post-mass colonization. Yeah, colonization. Colonization is funny. Colonization. Why did I read it funny in my head? Yes, basically they've been mixed in together with a lot of it, and there's always with the authors, you know, it's usually around 1900s-ish. There's some a little bit before, there's some a little after. This one's is 1922. So there's going to be some translation and bullshit, but roughly what the story is. So here we go. Okay, I hydrate. Alright. The Boy Who Was Called Thickhead. 3 brothers lived with their old Indian mother in the forest near the sea. Their father had long been dead. At his death he had little of the world's goods to his credit, and his widow and her sons were very poor. In the place where they dwelt, game was not plentiful, and to get food enough to keep them from what they had often to keep them from what they had to keep them from want. That's what they're trying to. They had often to go into the forest. The youngest boy was smaller and weaker than the others, and when the 2 older sons went far away to hunt, they always left him behind, for although he always wished to accompany them, they would never allow him to go. These sentences need at least proper commas, my God. I need help. Evil flame. It's okay, guys. It's okay. Don't fight. Don't fight. I'll hydrate again. Okay, I need to focus though. So we have to go, and they don't want the littlest brother to go. He always wished to accompany, but they would never allow him. He had to do all the work about the house, and all day long he gathered wood in the forest and carried water from the stream. And even when his brothers went out in the springtime to draw sap from the maple trees, he was never permitted to go with them. Yes! Look at Hyacinth using the browns. How Chopper's the birthday healthy and out. Oh, thank you, Evil Flame. That's a very cute little foxy guy. Oh, thank you. The threat I don't need, but it's very cute as well. Okay, I posture check and stretch still. Let's do a stretch. Sometimes when I stretch, you guys can hear the back pops. The sternum pop is the funnest one, but we haven't had that one today. Oh boy, another evil in my chat. Oh no. Okay. They never allowed him to go. He was always making mistakes and doing foolish things. His brothers called him Thickhead, and all the people around about said he was a simpleton because of his slow and queer ways. Hey! Hey! We often giggle at when they say queer and gay in these stories. Stop being homophobic! Anyway, his mother alone was kind to him, and she always said, "They may laugh at you and call you fool, but you will prove to be wiser than all of them yet. For so it was told to me by a forest fairy at your birth." A fairy told you? A fairy? As soon as they say one of the words that is like that, because we are so queer here, I'm going to have fun with that. I say that as a queer. It's okay. It's okay. I love. Alright. The chief of the people had a beautiful daughter who had many suitors. Oh, he's not queer then. But her father spurned them all from his door and said, "My daughter is not yet of age to marry, and when her time of marriage comes, she will only marry the man who can make great profit from hunting." You know that's who the thickhead is going to marry. You just know. The 2 older sons of the old woman decided that one of them must win the girl. So they prepared to set on a great hunting expedition far away in the northern forest, for it was now autumn, and the hunter's moon had come. The youngest boy wanted to go with them, for he had never been away from home and he had wished to see the world. I realized I skimmed over that. When they say different moons, that means like months, roughly. It's like different sections. I think we were above, but also just had its original meaning of odd. Of course! And that's not what they were trying to say, but that is our giggle, that we giggle at that. Especially in this context, they are not trying to be homophobic, but I'm going to giggle at it. Because then we have the accidental queer parade, literally the accidental gay cat pride parade story when they said gay too many times to mean happy. It was fun. Okay, but the hunter's moon, that's supposed to be in reference to it's the time, it's the month for hunting. Usually they're more specific. So this is one of those inaccurate translation-y things. The moon cycle is truly time to be alive. Yes. Okay. And his mother said I skipped. The hunter's moon came. The youngest boy wanted to go with them, for he had never been away from home and he wished to see the world, and his mother said he might go. His brothers were very angry when they heard his request, and they said, "Much for the fireside." No, they said, "Much good Thickhead can do us in the chase. He will only bring us bad luck. He is not a hunter, but a scullion and a drudge, fit only for the fireside." Yeah, they definitely said the word scullion. But his mother commanded them to grant the boy's wish, and they had to obey. So the three brothers set out for the north country. The two older brothers grumbling loudly because they were accompanied by the boy they thought a fool. So many odd little translation-y moments. One of my favorite stupid ass memes is the picture of a dog with two colored eyes, heterochromia, and it just says, "My dog with homophobia." Can't be homophobic if you kiss the homie goodnight. Yes! Oh, okay, I focused. The two older brothers had good success in the chase, and they killed many animals, deer and rabbits and otters and beavers, and they came home bearing a great quantity of dried meat and skins. They each thought, "Now we have begun to prove our prowess to the chief, and if we succeed as well next year, when the hunter's moon comes again, one of us will surely win his daughter when she is old enough to marry." And all the youngest boy brought home was, as a result of his journey into the game country, was a large earthworm as thick as his finger and as long as his arm. That's a big ass worm, dang. It was the biggest earthworm he had ever seen. He thought it a great curiosity as well as a great discovery, and he was so busy watching it each day that he had no time to hunt. When he brought it home in a box, his brothers said to their mother, What did we tell you about Thickhead? He has now surely proved himself a fool. He has caught only a fat earthworm in all these weeks." And they noised it abroad in the village, and all the people laughed loudly at the simpleton. Simpleton, yes, that's the words they used, for sure. Thickhead's hunt became a byword in all the land, but the boy's mother only smiled and said, "He will surprise them all yet." Sometimes when they translate like this, it's so silly, because it's like, we have to make some people be of high class, and so we're gonna do this, and this is the translations we have from these people, but we don't want them to sound stupid, so we have to give some extra fancier words. But these words are not things that they would not have that kind of context. They would have other words, and you don't need to talk down about the language. My God, these translations, they drive me nuts. But okay. Meanwhile, also the Night land, where they definitely dumbed it down extra. I can't. Okay. Who thinks that the earthworm is going to catch a giant fish? Because I think it's going to be like they're going to use the giant worm to get something big, and then something else. You know? It's going to be like that. It's going to be big old worm catches bigger thing. Right? Anyway, okay. They were mad all these weeks, and they noised it around. Thickhead became a byword, but the boy's mother only smiled and said, "He will surprise them all yet." The boy kept the earthworm in a tiny pen just outside the door of his house. One day, a large duck came waddling along. He asked for lemonade? No. And sticking her bill over the little fence of the pen, she quickly gobbled up the worm. The boy was very angry, and he went to the man who owned the duck and said, "Your duck ate up my pet worm. I want my worm." The man offered to pay him whatever price he asked, but the boy said, "I do not want your price. I want my worm." But the man said, "How can I give you your worm when my duck has eaten it up? It is gone forever." And the boy said, "It is not gone. It is in the duck's belly. So I must have the duck." Then, to avoid further trouble, the man gave Thickhead the duck, for he thought to himself, "What is the use of arguing with a fool?" "Is not a fool. You ate my pet. That is very fair." The boy took the duck home and kept it in a little pen near his home with a low fence around it, and he tied a great weight to its foot so that it could not fly away. Okay, so now we have the duck because took the worm. He was quite happy again, for he thought, "Now I have both my worm and the duck." "Well, no, you don't, buddy. You are a little thick-headed for that, but okay, good enough." But one day a fox came prowling along looking for food. Okay, so we're mimicking the last story. We're doing this in reverse. Okay. And the fox came around looking for food. He saw the fat duck tied to the foot of the little pen, and he said, "What a good fortune! There is a choice meal for me." And in a twinkling he was over the fence. The duck quacked and made a great noise, but she was soon silenced, let's say. The fox had just finished eating up the duck when the boy, who had heard the quacking, came running out of the house. The fox was smacking his lips after a good meal, and he was too slow in getting away. The boy fell to beating him with a stout club and soon killed him and threw his body into the yard behind the house. And he thought, that is not so bad. Now I have my worm and the duck and the fox. Not quite, but okay. That night an old wolf came through the forest in search for food. He was very hungry, and in the bright moonlight he saw the dead fox lying in the yard. He pounced upon it greedily and devoured it until not a trace of it was left. But the boy saw him, and before he could get away, he came stealthily upon him and killed him with a blow of his axe. "I'm surely in good luck," he thought, "for now I have the worm and the duck and the fox and the wolf." But the next day, when he told his brothers of his good fortune and his great skill, they laughed at him loudly and said, "Much good a dead wolf will do you. Before 2 days have passed, it will be but an evil-smelling thing, and we shall have to bury it deep. You are indeed a great fool." The boy pondered for a long time over what they had said, and he thought, perhaps they are right. The dead wolf cannot last long. I will save the skin. So he skinned the wolf, and dried the skin, and made a drum from it. For the drum was one of the few musical instruments of the Indians in these old times. Okay, get out of here with that condescending bullshit. It's just that the drum was very significant. It's not that, it was the only thing they had. No, it was hugely significant. Okay, and they beat it loudly at all their dances and festivals, because it was the core of it. It is the heartbeat. Get out of here with your condescending bullshit. The boy beat the drum each evening and made a great noise, and he was very proud because he had the only drum in the whole village. One day the chief sent for him and said to him, "I want to borrow your drum for this evening. I am having a great gathering to announce to all the land that my daughter is now of age to marry, and that suitors may now seek her hand in marriage. But we have no musical instruments, and I want your drum, and I myself will beat it at the dance." So Thickhead brought his drum to the chief's house, but he was not very well pleased because he was not invited to the feast, while his brothers were among the favored guests. And he said to the chief, "Be very careful. Do not tear the skin of my drum, for I can never get another like it. My worm and my duck and my fox and my wolf have all helped to make it, and that's pretty wise. Drums do be a heartbeat for battle or dance." Yeah. The next day he went for his drum, but the chief had struck it too hard and had split it open so that it would now make no sound, and it was ruined beyond repair. Geez, people are so rude to the things the idiot owns just because he's an idiot. That is so mean. He offered to pay the boy a great price for it, but the boy said, "I do not want your price. I want my drum. Give me back my drum, for my worm and the duck and the fox and the wolf are all in it." Well, that's not quite how that works, honey. He can't give it back. The chief said, "How can I give you back your drum when it is broken? It is gone forever. I will give you anything you desire in exchange for it, since you do not like the price I offer. You may name your own price, and you shall have it." And the boy thought to himself, "Here is a chance for good fortune. Now I will surprise my brothers." And he said, "Since you cannot give me my drum, I will take your daughter in marriage in exchange." The chief was much perplexed, but he had to be true to his word. So he gave his daughter to Thickhead, and they were married, and the girl brought him much treasure, and they lived very happily. And his brothers were very much amazed and angered because they had failed. But his mother said, "I told you he was wiser than you, and that he would outwit you. And yet, although you called him Thickhead and fool, for the forest fairy said it to me at his birth." The end. Ha ha ha. He didn't beat it in public, though. He beat the drum in his own house at his feast. He invited everybody. He had the party, you know what I mean? They showed up. It was their choice. You probably do need a bong. You probably do. Go ahead, Arctic. Go ahead. Okay, Cage got you. But really, he was invited. Be real. Okay. He was already rearing up for it. You both got him. You both got him. That's good. Alright, well that was the boy who was called Dickhead. And that was pretty cute. So thank you everybody, and thank you so much Hyacinth for the raid. Everybody that came in with her, thank you Cage for joining in through there as well. I saw that. We will go ahead. Oh, you're bonking with the thanks practice. Of course. Alright, do we have a recommendation for where we should raid to? And if you say anything, I will not be able to see it because after I do this. Thanks for visiting us too. Hey, of course. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to make more friends in the community. It's making me feel very welcome, and I like it. Oh, before I go, ice stream has become one of my favorite cozy places, though I'm usually lurking. Which I was alright that I usually lurk in and out. Of course. I'm pretty sure most people enjoy a good lurk. No way. Ember's life? Okay, I think we're going there. I have hydrated. Oh, let's get that. I think a lot of us are huge lurkers. I can't. I personally cannot. I am too chatty. It is just real. Here is the first raid message. Please copy it if you have the emotes. And let's drop the second one. There you go. And I'm gonna prep to raid. I will not be able to read your messages very well. I will only be able to see them in the little frame of the stream monitor. Okay. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? There she is. We raided not long ago. Fet would have us go somewhere that was less recent. But hey, Annie's in here. Hi, Annie Belle. We're gonna bug you. We're gonna bug you so quick. Okay, we're gonna raid over. I see no other chats, and my model is very winky again. Ugh. Oh, I just think that. Oh, I cannot read that first yet. It is too small. I think the chain of relevant people is funny. Oh yeah, that is very funny. That is very cute, and that is why I'm doing it. But all right, thank you everybody. Thank you for raid Hyacinth. Thank you for lurking. Thank you for the resub. I will be back tomorrow with SCP and Folktales again. It looks like we are doing more charity. It's a fundraiser for Lupus Research Alliance. Very on board. So let's go drop in. Let's go say hi. Here we go. See you guys soon. Happy time zone, whatever time zone. Let's go. Ooh. Goose, no. What did the goose do?